Hey, I'm Patrick Wilson from Barry Munday.
Thanks for sitting with us, Patrick. First off, the movie was fantastic.
Oh, cool.
We really enjoyed it at the site. So
Good.
Awesome to sit with you. So what first drew you to this? The script, even.
The clothes. No, I thought it was crazy. I thought it was, I don't get asked to do a lot of comedies anyway. At least I haven't so far. We'll see. They sent me the script, and I really dug it. I was a little scared of it in some way, because the sell of it, the first 20 pages, like, oh no, he gets his balls cut off. Is that gonna work? And but what I loved about it was here, if you're telling a story about it, this sort of very disturbing love story, and with Barry's arc of becoming a man, the complete antithesis of that is, take away his manhood, right? So what is the specific, because I played a lot of emasculated men, but never one that literally had his balls taken off. So I thought the premise was risky and odd and strange and so cool. I loved it, because at the end of the day, as douchey as he can seem, he's a good guy, and I think you pull for him. So I thought he's actually, for all his eccentricities and reasons not to like him, he's a very likable bonehead.
So you talk about the emasculation. So, I mean, is this it for the impotence scripts, or you,
done?
Not even just one more? If it's like Scorsese,
I don't think. I don't know. What do you got, Marty? What do you got for me? Take a yeah. Yeah, it is. I mean, I did have that conversation with my agents. I said, just so I'm the first one to bring it up, and so because I know that the press at some point will ask me about this, I just want you to know this is yet another movie that has to do with some type of castration. This time it's actually happening. But hey, what are you going to do? I mean, I think there's certainly really outside of that very basic sentence. There's really nothing similar between Hard Candy or Dan being impotent in Watchmen, and Watchmen, and yeah, even little children feeling emasculated, and with Jackie at the end cutting himself, castrating himself. It's a thing. It's more a comment on movie scripts than my personal repertoire.
It's the trend of the industry, right?
It's a trend.
Yeah,
people love balls.
It's the hip thing. So now I've heard that you had a lot of a lot to give to this character. Like, you had some ideas that went into Barry Munday.
Yeah. Well, the thing was, the book that's based on Life is a Strange Place. When you read a book, you can form your own vision of what the guy's going to look like. So then with a comic, you're like, well, that's what he's going to look like. So then for something like Watchmen, you can go, yeah, okay, well, let me look like that. Let me see what I can do to create that look. With this, we were given some sort of parameters, like, I didn't want to make him sleazy and unlikable. Yes, he's a ladies' man. Yes, he'll hit on sort of anybody. But there is something sort of endearing about a guy that really loves everybody, and just wants to be liked, which is a very common thread that he has with Ginger. But for the look of it, we wanted to go with the last time he probably felt cool. So, okay, if he's, he's me, so he's my age, all right. So let's put him around high school, and so late 80s, early 90s, when Trent, braided belts and structure was coming along that store. So you kind of did the rugby shirt, and we hadn't quite had Abercrombie & Fitch yet, but we thought puka shells and a leather necklace to keep him young and hip, and the goatee that when Ethan Hawke rocked that, and Alive or Reality Bites or something, everybody wanted to grow a goatee, so let's do that. Just hang on to it for about 15 years too long. That was sort of the goal with Barry's physical look.
Did you do any research, to hit up some Applebee's and tip
Look, I grew up in Florida. I mean, we used to, the only place we could get into when we were 18 was Bennigan's After Dark. So that was our spot. I mean, you either did that or you hung out in the parking lot of McDonald's. I mean, that's what you do. So. No, the thing is, from that perspective, I completely knew when you're, that's where you go, whether it's a Bennigan's or Applebee's. We didn't have Applebee's, I know. It was Bennigan's or Fridays, I guess. That was a place to be. All fine establishments.
Yes, absolutely. So What's it like, you turn one way and it's like, oh, Billy D. Williams is my boss, and then Malcolm McDowell is the father-in-law.
I mean, the coolest thing, it was just, it's such a bizarre cast of characters, I mean, I'm a Star Wars nerd, so to have, and I've sort of gone through my career with, if I've met, I just got to work with Harrison, so that was pretty awesome to, and he was talking to Sam Jackson about being in the, in the latest trilogy, and, I get fascinated by meeting people that were in Star Wars, so to meet with Lando was pretty awesome. That's the only time I've ever got, I think it's about 3 times in my life when I've had people sign something, and it's usually for either my brothers or my kids, and that was, getting, Billy D to sign something for my brother was pretty awesome, aside from Lando. But aside from that, I mean, Jean Smart, who I would watch on 24, she's just an unbelievable actress, and Shay, I thought was hilarious and fantastic, and when I saw him in the remake of Bad Lieutenant that they just did, he kills it in that movie. You have such a bizarre cast of characters, and that's a real testament to Chris, because, what it is on a tiny movie, nobody's getting a lot of money and time, you're either in or you're out. It ain't going to be, well, let's argue over the size of my trailer. This is the way it's rolling, you know what I mean? We don't have time for that. And nobody really left the set. You sort of hang out because you believed in Chris and the project. But hearing Sybil and, talk about, Taxi Driver, and talk about Peter Bogdanovich, and Malcolm, so happy to talk about Clockwork Orange, and, Caligula even in the chair is a very, just like Caligula. That was so cool to have these, because our style was very, wanted to go for a 70s kind of feel, of static shots and, just filmmaking wise. That was important for Chris. So we knew the style we were going for and the tone, and it gave us a real freedom.
So we're film school rejects, obviously, so I always like to ask, do you have a Paramount reject moment in your career that...
Where I've been rejected?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Hopefully a funny one, because Chris was talking about crying, so I don't want to see any tears today.
Oh, jeez. Being an actor, it's all about rejection. It's all about auditioning and being rejected. Auditions, I've had some absolutely terrible auditions where you just, there was one audition that I met with the director, and I think I'd done a couple movies, and this was a tiny movie that I was meeting for, so I sort of felt like if I wanted to do it, it was going to be mine. We met, we hit it off, and it was really cool, and I liked and the character came from where my family came from, and I was like, I can kill the accent, and this will be great, and we'll have a lot of fun. We really got along. She's like, do you just mind coming in and reading for the producers? And I was like, cool, no problem. And I went in there and I did it. And they were like, great. You want to do it again? I was like, sure, yeah, let's do it again. And then we try anything different. Like, no, that's cool. No, I think you got it. Great. So I did it again, and I was like, walked out of there like, cool. So once I start shooting, we try to figure, I literally thought it was mine. It's the only time my agents called me and been like, what happened? And I was like, what do you mean? I was like, it was cool, right? Of course they dig me. They're like, yeah, you really, I don't know what you did, but you really didn't hit the mark at all. And I was like, what? You're kidding. You usually have an idea like that did not go well. I thought it went great. And they were like, yeah, you really didn't do well. And it made me really angry, because I was like, well, then why were they sitting there telling me, great job, yeah, you just want to get me out of the room? Why'd you let me do it again? What happened between the time that I met you and the time that, where you feel like, I'm much bigger than this movie, don't they know? And I felt really terrible. Luckily, the movie didn't turn out well at all. But it is kind of weird when they hire someone, and I'm not going to tell you who it was, but when they hire someone, you're like, that guy blows. What do they think? But yeah, it's that happens a lot.
Now, of course, you're joking, but not really, about you being awesome. So, no, but seriously, and this is 100% the truth. I think I'm sitting with one of the most versatile greatest actors in Hollywood.
Oh man, that's so
really
nice. Thank you.
Huge fan of your work. So I mean, like, when can we see you in more? I mean, because like you're obviously showing this range. Like Hard Candy, one of my favorite movies. You know, Barry Munday was fantastic, obviously, and then Watchmen. I'm a geek, so you know, trying to stay back, but. You know, I mean, like, you know, where do you see yourself from here? I mean, would you like to do more comedy, or?
I'd love to. You know, I swear to you, I'm doing this movie now. It's like this real weird psychological thriller. Pretty dark, you know. Got with the A-Team, which I just love doing, and you know, that guy's kind of crazy and fun, and I just try to mix it up. You know, I mean, I gotta say, it's a different. You know, movies like Little Children and some of the movies that I did probably wouldn't get made now. It's a different time, you know. You're so, to be honest with you, while I'm super fortunate. I get offered some great stuff, and there's a lot of stuff that it's going about the same three guys because, you know, and I'm not really one of them right now because there's. It's really so economically based because the way that the year. I think it's changing. I do. I think confidence is coming back a little, but, you know, it'd be hard actually to get this movie made now. It's actually kind of interesting in that way. People aren't throwing their money around like they did a few years ago. So, you know, it's always a balance of what you want, what you can get, you know, and, yeah, I get offered some interesting things that I just sort of turn down, and I try to do is, you know, and then there's some stuff that I would love to get that somebody else is getting. You're like, geez, he's doing another movie? Like, how's he going to have time for that? You know, that's just the nature of the business right now. You know, people, it's so geared on who is hot right now, and that's not really that's never really been my thing. You know, I was never like a breakout guy. You know what I mean? I just sort of plod along, and that's awesome. I'm very confident in that. But I'm also getting ready to do something I can't even talk about it. And hopefully the press release will come out soon. Something that I just absolutely love that I'm getting ready to go shoot in a couple weeks, but I know something will come out in the next. I know it because we just signed the contract, but they literally told me like, listen, we're really trying to keep this top secret, but we'll so it'll harken back to Hard Candy.
That's awesome. Put it that way. Just one last very quick question. What's one thing that you haven't really gotten to say about Barry Munday today, or
oh man,
something for our audiences or just audiences in general?
You know, for film school rejects, I think you guys, I think you'll love the style of this film. I mean, you know, it's a very odd log line to try to describe a movie, but I just know that if you come into the movie, if you find the movie, you're gonna really. It's hard not to enjoy these people. I mean, I think it's such a great, heartfelt story told in the most bizarre fashion. So.
Yeah, we really loved it, and we think
That's
audiences
great.
will too.
Okay,
All right, thank you so much.
No problem, man.